Sparking Zero never really dies, and the proof is the new DLC trailer. For 1.5 years, people said Sparking Zero was dead. Some even said that they were moving on to Sparking 2. Both were wrong. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you why what looked like failure was really just setup. Actually, let's do it right now. Let's start on why the game has been stale for so long. And no, they are not making a sequel. Let's kill that rumor right now. I've read this claim a lot, even after just a few months of the game dropping. I understand people were disappointed, but that claim was always insane to me. Yes, the game has been quiet for long periods of time. Yes, the content was slow as hell. And the truth is, the devs really need to work on their communication department. But at the same time, let's not ignore that every patch brought more stability to the gameplay. Every patch made the experience smoother, with fixes and balances, which the game really needed, especially in the beginning. Well, the truth also is that they really did take their time with each and every patch, but they were slowly but surely delivering. If you have ever worked on a tech corporate environment, you probably already know what happened behind the scenes. On October 2024, apart from Sparking Zero, Dragon Ball Daima made an appearance, an anime installment after almost 10 years. As all of you may imagine, that's a marketing team wet dream. Bandai, in their pockets, wanted absolutely to ride the hype. And I mean, let's be fair here, it only makes sense to pair the reboot of the most beloved Dragon Ball game franchise with the return of Dragon Ball in anime format. Well, definitely not from a developer's perspective. We know that the game was in development for more than 5 years, and Bandai likely pressured for an earlier than expected release. We also know that the switch from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5 mid-production, which really only guarantees extra trouble. The devs definitely freezed ongoing stuff. Did you know, even though Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is a standalone character, he has actually transformation animations, which means base GT Vegeta was planned, but scrapped of course, because wrapping up the game and the gameplay was undoubtedly first priority. And really, none of that is easy, and it's also not an easy feat to have a solid online mode, cause that had to work too. I've been playing the game since day one, and it really was commendable work. Well, not without issues here and there, of course, but the real test phase is always production, let's be real. Now, I've played more than 1,000 hours of Tenkaichi 3 before this game came out, and let me tell you, the gameplay was not only faithful, it was modernized, it had an expanded groundwork and even more depth. In my eyes, that's a real achievement, and really, props to the devs for that. Now let's talk about Bandai for a bit. Another blazing sign that the game wouldn't end up as a cold cash grab is really their track records. I'm talking about Fighter Z and Xenoverse and Kakarot too, even Breakers, I guess. Looking at Bandai's support of all these other Dragon Ball games, Fighter Z and Xenoverse are not only supported and updated, they actually get fresh content even to this day. Let me remind you that Xenoverse is 10 years old. Fighter Z had a foundational patch which changed core character mechanics and basically rebooted the game's systems last October. And the game came out 8 years ago. In every Dragon Ball Game Expo, everybody's been expecting a Fighter Z2 drop for years now. But it's obvious that Bandai prefers long-term support of games, which honestly is great, as a player, a consumer and a fan. There's no reason to throw out a game with perfectly good foundation when patches exist. Now, under that context, I'm fairly confident that the devs were promised would have the time to polish their game after launch. Of course, things are not that simple, they never are. After release, the devs have a schedule to keep up. There's a whole pipeline of DLCs, the root of all evil. Even when debuting, they had to be hard at work to meet the promised release dates. And even then, that last DLC was delayed for 3 months, a sign, I believe, of how swamped that team was. And let's not forget, apart from content and DLCs, the devs had to port the game to Switch. Not only Switch 2, but Switch 1 also. And oh lord, they just literally had to degrade their game for that one. They also have to plan the direction of the game in the future. Every patch might have been simple, but they were also very well targeted and always in the right direction. They listened to their community too, always a sign of a good dev team. They added battle stages in the local versus mode. Do you remember when we only had Time Chamber? They balanced single and team battles. They added an option for the OG SFX. And just recently, the most requested mode, Mission 100, in a free update. On every DLC showcase, you can sense sense the dedication, the passion and the humbleness. I'm sure they know their product is not there just yet, but eventually it will. And with the new DLC showcase, I think they're doing exactly that. We got new characters, stages, modes, cosmetics, a future roadmap, remember communication? As of right now, King Piccolo, Super 17, Champa, Devilman, Super Saiyan, Bardock, Grandpa Gohan, Tao Pai Pai, Pikkon, and Zanya are confirmed. An incredible lineup, especially considering that the game suffers from a variety of lower to middle range characters. Lots of OGDB characters were missing and now are back. Super 17, one of the most requested characters, and surprisingly not on release, is now back. Super Saiyan Bardock, another fan favorite. And this actually is important because this is a turn to non-canon characters. This opens an immense door of possibilities. I'm looking at you, Android 21. And my personal favorite, Pikkon. Oh man, how much I've missed this one. We could even see the whole squad of Bojack, maybe even Android 14 and 15. And I would not be surprised if we eventually get a GT-based Vegeta. Maybe a whole GT pack actually, like where's GT Trunks? Where's Goten? Super Saiyan GT Goten? Anyone? I would love to get Chichi and Lance as well. Mr. Satan being the only DP1 character really bugs me. I think he deserves some company. Actually, I believe that 1DP characters being the total weakest on the roster is actually their power. They force a unique playstyle, like Chichi could only use her kicks and Lance could use her weapons. Wouldn't it be cool if we got Dr. Hedo fighting with his science gadgets, or Magenta with his mecha modifications as shown in the movie? And speaking of which, we gotta get the Mecha Tao Pai Pai. And let's not forget the GOAT, Noah. Nam. But the truth is, we already have over 200 characters. Personally, I'm missing stages more than ever. Thankfully, in the showcase, it was plural, which means we get more than the Kame House. Tenkaichi 3 thrived on stage variety with 22 stages, whereas right now Sparking Zero only got 12. Kame House is a must. Kame's Lookout is a must. Mount Poucho, one of my most beloved. I would love to see Hells at some point there, and honestly all levels of the Demon Realm in Daima deserve their own states. Otherworld Tournament, Glacier, I mean, they can't be that hard. Now, I don't remember this one being on any Dragon Ball game, but I would love King Kai's planet as a map. And I'm sure I'm missing lots and lots more. Dragon Ball has such a big variety of landscapes. Feel free to comment your favorite down below. Now, I'm not gonna talk a lot about cosmetics, cause they could literally do a ton of stuff with this concept. Cause right now, it's completely empty. But feel free to share your thoughts on that too. And you know what else is nearly empty? The amount of modes this game has. The new frame suggests that we're getting some kind of open world mode. This could be a huge game changer. This actually reminds me of the Budokai 3 story mode, where you could fly across the whole globe of Dragon Ball. If you look at the future roadmap, you will notice that we're getting a mode with each passing season. I'm not sure that the open world mode is also the survival mode of Spring. If so, it was completely different in Tenkaichi. But it's probably gonna be a free update in the summer. Now, Mission 100 was released and some people were actually disappointed with the difficulty in some of the stages. Now, I haven't played all of them yet, but most do seem to be a bit on the easier side. But I also have hundreds of hours in the game, and there are other people that play more moderately, and newer players too. They gotta be able to play something too, right? Besides, there's nothing stopping them from adding a Mission 1000 or a Mission 100 hardcore mode in really west up there. Do you guys remember Sim Dragon in Tenkaichi 3? Oh, I love that one. A modern redesign of this would be absolutely epic. Also a chance to utilize the items in the shop more, as well as the in-game rewards and mission rewards. Cause right now it's really only Zenith and Dragon Ball, and after a point you just unlock everything and they are completely useless. Now, call me dreamer, but I would love to see a 2v2 ranked mode. I mean, the blueprint is already there. Shin Budokai Tag Team did it so many years ago, and I played that recently. It was absolutely super fun.
Leave my broski! Leave him! Fuck her up! Well, I did the emergency blaster wave by mistake.
So that exists?
Yes. You have to be careful.
A modern implementation, I believe, is more than achievable. Not saying it's easy, I'm saying it's doable. And that really opens the gates for stuff like raid bosses, guilds, just like other Dragon Ball games have. And what about ranked tournaments? Because tournaments right now are dead, nobody plays them. Nobody wants to go through the trouble of hosting them and trying to find a lobby which is actually full of people. I'm not sure if you can do this anymore. You could in the beginning of the game where people were happy to see every aspect of it, but right now I'm really not sure you can. And really, it could be community hosted, it could be official in-game tournaments, once a month or even once a season, with ranking criteria. Lots of other games do this already. Titles, skins, recolors, moves, any cosmetic you can imagine would be an awesome prize for those. The possibilities are really endless. Honestly, we're just getting started. What are you guys most excited about? Let me know and I will see you on to the next one. Peace!